Hello, guys. We are back again, Gray and I, for the review of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 2, The Least Dangerous Game, it's called. And Gray's already, he's got his. Was that a normal handshake, Gray, or was that like a.
Well,
I've just
the
thought of
first part
something.
was a normal hand.
Has anyone ever done that, though?
Done it like this?
Did two of them, yeah.
I suppose you could, or you go like this, right?
What is that? Do you ever remember a program called Mork and Mindy in the States?
Yeah.
It was always like Nanu, wasn't it?
Nanu.
I missed that show. God bless Mr. Williams, a bit of a legend. Yeah. We're already digressing. We haven't even started, Gray.
Oh, by the way, you see that 1701 back of me? Well, here's the model that just came in. So I have this sitting on my desk now, so I can look at it.
You don't have the giant versions, Gray. You see, I'll show you this in another video. I've got the XL versions, and mine is bigger than yours. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know. I have actually a 1701 original Enterprise TOS.
Oh yeah,
which is about that big.
Yeah. That's bigger than XL.
That's in my bedroom. That's old.
Ego Moss.
No, you know what? I don't remember who
So
did
they
it,
don't do that big, I don't think.
Well, there used to be a plate on it, and it was to show you how old it is. It was the 25th anniversary of Star Trek, and we're already at 53 years, right?
You're not that old, Gray. You don't look a day over 33.
So I had bought that a long time ago, and it's actually, the color is white.
Yeah.
With, it has the colors of the nacelle and the dish and everything. But also, what's cool about it is the bridge has a removable piece. So you can pull the top of the bridge off and see the bridge, and then put it back on.
Yeah, that's smart. But we will do an episode where we talk about ships and our favourite ships, and we'll probably do an Eagle Moss special at some point soon as well, because I mentioned before that they are kind of going bust.
If I ever win the lottery, then I'll change this entire room into Star Trek. But until then,
oh yeah. There's Gray. There is guys that have done that before. There was a guy in London that actually put his whole room into the bridge, and I just was like, wow. Not for me. I even if I had that kind of money, that's too much. But yeah, if we're showing off, then no, I don't have a model ship. They're all here, but I do have a Star Trek T-shirt on.
Yeah.
And I do have a mic that looks like, once I change it, I'm going to get it to change like the warp core. But it's slowly going up and down, pulsing that nice.
There it is.
There we go. The nice blue. That's what we need. Anywho, right. So this episode, briefly, I enjoyed. It was better than the first one. It was funnier. It was more Boimler classics, and I just had a good laugh with it. But we'll kick it off at any point as usual. Gray, just jump in with any comments or points that you have. We just take a lot of bullet points. It makes our lives easier to know what we're actually talking about. I will say, to begin with, we see, and I almost forgot about this point, Gray, we see the Sutos back to fighting form. It's been fully repaired. It's got all its hull plating back on. So you must think there's a decent length of time between the first episode and the second episode. It's good to see it back to top.
Not really, because it is a cartoon. So they don't care about time.
Oh my God, Gray. Oh God. He's trolling already, guys. I am sorry.
Things happen immediately in cartoons, like poof.
That's it. Yes. Let's pretend it's not a cartoon, though. Which it is.
If you think, now I just thought about this. If you think about it, what's the most cartoonish in that way in Star Trek? It would be Q. Because all Q ever did was snap his fingers and stuff.
Oh yeah. That's omnipotent Q though. Yeah, that's different. He would be great in one of the Lower Decks or something properly, or Prodigy or something like that. But no, we do see the Sutos back to fighting form. A bit of time has elapsed. It's got its hull plating back on, and it's looking good. Our first proper scene is with the ensigns and I think we both enjoyed this point here, Gray. The ensigns are all sitting around a table in the lower decks playing a board game not made, it's got the voice of General Mortok or Chancellor Mortok in it, voicing everything, like just a normal board game with the dice and whatnot. But it turns out it's kind of RPG Ferengi knockoff, which I really had a chuckle with. I think you liked that as well, didn't you, Gray?
Oh, I thought the board game was probably my most favorite thing in the entire episode. I was going back and replaying it.
Yeah, same.
just to hear all the lines, because there were so many of them. We didn't even have time to bring them all to you right now. There was just too many. But when I heard the actor J.G. Hertzler, excuse me, come back to do the voice again, I was going like, well, is that him? And I'm going like, damn, that is him. The dude's like in his earlier mid-70s, and he came back and did this. That was pretty cool.
I love Mortok. I love the actor that plays him. He's even more epic than Gowron, which I love as well. I love that actor that plays him as well. But for me, Mortok was outside Worth is the best Klingon for me. I just love the guy.
Yeah.
It was great to see him. What was the line that you really liked about this, Gray, that you noted down?
I just thought it was funny when they were both playing the game. There's lots of funny lines, but then all of a sudden, Boimler says he's been waiting for the Gowron expansion for months. And I heard that, I'm going like, oh no.
Yeah, great.
It was classic. That was classic. I really liked it.
And that was, you could just imagine ourselves or any of the guys from our gaming community being these lower deck officers, being ensigns, just playing things like this, because we're gamers as well, aren't we, Gray? So you could just imagine going, God damn, Gray, I've been waiting for this Gowron expansion for like 6 months, and they've delayed it yet again. The studio's delayed it yet again. Typical.
Yeah.
Insert jokes here.
I'll tell you what I would love to see, and you probably would too. I would love to see them actually do it and bring out a game and use Mortok's voice. It doesn't have to be a long game. It could just be something that's kind of a short version of what we saw. So it would be like a real game, but a shorter kind of comedic thing. That would be epic, dude.
I can up that for you. I can do one better. Do that, but don't just have Mortok. Have just a Star Trek board game with voice actors in general, and Mortok's in it.
Sure.
Whoever you can get, and then it's the best of both worlds. I'd love to say I'd paid money for that. Of course I would. So yeah, they're all playing their board game, getting right into it. Rutherford absolutely loves this. Boimler's absolutely loving this. Maybe not so much Beckett, but then she's always a little bit moody. They get news afterwards, Mr. Gray, that and now this character I didn't know about, or I've forgotten. Maybe he was in one of the previous seasons. Maybe you'll know, but Vendome, the kind of purple-looking dude, he gets a field promotion. And the guys are really jealous because he's a yes sir man. He volunteers for the good missions, the bad missions. He does everything. Do you remember this character at all?
Yeah, I do. I don't remember him that much, but I do remember seeing the character popping up here and there.
Yeah,
but it was more of a kind of a forgettable kind of. It was there and was okay, but it was more forgettable. So I think in a way that was better because they picked him as being promoted to captain, because you're kind of like, wait a minute, did I see that character before? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a field promotion, wasn't it? So I don't know what rank it was. Did
no,
they never said?
He made captain.
Did they actually say that? Right, okay, I missed that point then. Yeah, wow, okay, wow.
That's why Boimler was flipping out. He's going like, captain. I said, how did he make captain? How's that? And then he was reading however it happened on his pad or whatever it was. And the first couple of lines he read under his breath, and it said, Vendome's meteoric rise to captaincy.
Yes. He
it was funny.
He done the right thing, so he gets this promotion. It makes everyone jealous, and Boimler decides, you just see the look in his face. He's clearly pissed off, and it's because he's not a yes man. Boimler has to be more of a yes man, I think he's told. We then see it then kicks into another gear this episode where we've got Billips, the chief engineer, who he's not one of the main guys because it's based on the lower decks characters, but to see the senior characters from time to time, it has to be done. It's important. You get Billips and Rutherford, who I love. Rutherford, he's the geek's geek. He really is. And they are heading down to see a species called the Delanians. Now, I don't know the name of the planet. Delanian, I don't know, but they're called Delanians. And I probably misspelt this when I put it down. I don't even care, Gray. The twist here is they're going down to the planet where they should normally, because they're engineers, those two, aren't they? They should be on this space elevator, or space lift, as Beckett keeps calling it.
Yeah, was it orbital lift?
Or orbital lift or something, yeah. Those two should have been. So basically, we have Beckett, we have Ransom. They stay on to make repairs because Ransom wants to basically get one up on Beckett because they don't like each other clearly. Whereas Billips and Rutherford go down to meet the Delaneyans. It should have been reversed, and that's just a recipe for disaster straight away because you knew the proverbial was going to hit the fan. The next bit, I think you'll be a big fan of, Gray, because I had a chuckle at this. You like Shax, I like Shax. We have Boimler, who's because he's at this stage he's not bold Boimler. He's not saying yes to everything. He's still saying no. When he was invited to a game of spring ball, I may have got the name of the sport wrong, but he says no initially, and then he's kind of egged on to say come on, you want to be the captain, don't you? So he runs after the guy. Yep, let's play some spring ball, and then we just a lot of chuckles for this episode. We just see Boimler with more of those epic screens getting shoulder charged by Shax, almost like an American football or rugby tackle. And he spends most of that scene just screaming like a little girl. You're a big fan of Shax, aren't you, Great, like myself?
Oh, I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
Him and the cat. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like
and then afterwards you get with the screaming out of the way, Shax is like, "You done great." And he's like, "Really?" Like, yeah. I love the way you scream and you cry like a little girl, And he's like, "All right, okay, thanks." So what does Shax do? This was a massive body swerve. I didn't see this curveball coming at all. Shax invites him to, I don't know what he calls it, Gray, but I've noted down here a crying choir.
Yeah, it was a Bajoran something. It's some special thing that Bajorans
Custom
do.
thing, yeah. I believe it.
A lot. Yeah, it meant a lot to him, apparently, whatever it is. And yeah, but I didn't know what he was talking about exactly. And then they cut to the scene where all the people are in the room and they're like humming or singing some kind of very bad opera, and they're all sitting there all crying.
I mean,
like, what is going on?
Were they even singing great? I think that scene, I literally
it sounded like they were chanting, I guess.
A chant at the whole time it was like a long, prolonged cry.
Yeah.
Because you see the tears and stuff. I was like, wow, okay. And apparently he's a natural at it. Who would have known?
I like when he came up to him and he said, "Wow, you were really good at that. You honored the prophets." He goes like, and then Shax goes, "If you ever need me, I'm just a comm badge away." And like, Boimler's going, "Yeah, okay."
1-0. There's one I'll pull out in the bag later if I need a favor done, So yeah, anytime we get to see Shax, Gray and I are happy. We love the guy, and we like to see some more some of the cultural stuff of Star Trek, some of the canon. So we learn something about Bajorans that they're really good at crying choirs. Who knew? Progressing on, we have. Wait, I
want to interrupt 1 second. I hope. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I hope that since he went out of his way to tell Boimler that if you need me, just hit your comm badge. I want to see them bring that up. Yeah. Even if it's like 5 episodes later, they got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't, I'll be disappointed. So we'll see.
Yeah, because he's once become captain one day, doesn't he, Grace? So he has to pull out all the tricks in a bag to get that one. So yeah, I hope they do pull it out and they make it funny as in typical lower deck style. We move on to, as I've noted down here, Ransom and Beckett having their usual ding dong back and forth. They're on the space platform, the lift, the elevator, whatever you want to call it. And they're literally just having a back and forth about how you do things and why it's going down the way it's going down. These guys clearly don't like each other at all, Gray. And he's basically doing this because he's wanting to keep Beckett in line. That you've noted down here, Gray, that you liked the back and forth between them. It was decent, but not amazing. I have to agree with you. It's kind of getting a bit tiresome now, but it's also entertaining at the same time,
I mean, I understand the repartee between them and why they do what they do. It's just that they're doing it so many times over and over and over. I'm like, okay, I get it. already. And so it was not bad. It just was kind of like, yeah, whatever. There was other parts that were better.
I reckon they'll be pals at some point. If it's not later on this season, it'll be a later season because you can't stay pissed at each other the whole time. They'll literally, I think it'll get to a stage where they'll just, and we'll get onto it maybe later on in the episode, there's a point where they kind of maybe kind of mutually respect each other a little bit and get on a little bit better, but it's clearly begrudged, I would say, is the best way to describe it.
It would be really funny, although I don't think they'll do this, but wouldn't it be weird that if, let's just say I'm just bringing this up because it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say for argument's sake that Lower Decks runs, I don't know, 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And then in the last season or the last couple episodes, it goes from comedy to straight serious. That's what I would do.
No. You know where I'm going to go with this one? And I'll the Orville, yeah, which I love, but it's just got rid of a lot of humor. But yeah, I don't want to leave it the way it is.
No, but what I meant was the very last episode, very last, that it goes total serious, because in itself that would be funny, because that's something you wouldn't expect.
Okay, I can buy that, Gray. I can buy that. Yeah, as long as it's not a season.
This one, then it would be cool. Again, we're not the writers, right? But we love coming up with weird
Thank God.
ideas. So what if they did a mirror episode?
Oh,
right. But the mirror universe is everything they're doing, but straight up serious. Absolutely no comedy.
Yeah, but every series seems to do mirror episodes, and Discovery was doing a bit too much of it. So yes, I think they should do it just the once to say that they've done it, because that would be cool, and that probably will happen at some point. But as long as they don't rip the arse out of it, then I would say that's the most important thing. But yeah, no, it's a good shout. We'll see what happens on it on Grey. We again, more chuckles because I'm reading here. Rutherford and Billups lapping up the Delaney's hospitality. They literally, their way, Grey, of instead of handshakes and formal niceties and whatnot, they literally kiss all the time. With tongues, as Rutherford actually adds in here.
No other way to explain it. They get romantically involved in all their conversations. It was funny too when there was this scene of the two of them, and like behind them was one of the women or whatever, and she's going like this. I'm like,
and they're loving it.
I'm like, wow.
They're kind of sitting back, it looks like some kind of resort, somewhere in the Caribbean or whatnot. They're just sitting back on their deck chairs, having drinks, these beautiful women all around them, looking scantily dressed, scantily clad, kissing away and all that. They're living the high life. It's surely bound to go down south. And no, I didn't mean that. But moving on from those guys here lapping up the Delaney's, we're back on the Cerritos, and we are in, I don't know what it's called, it's their equivalent of 10 forward. So they're in the lounge area, chilling out, and I always forget what the green lady's called.
Oh, the
Ryan girl, yeah. But these two, she's good friends with Boimler, so they're in there talking away. Boimler's fed up of being always a no man, so he wants to be a yes man, and he wants to be more positive, to be involved in things, because that's how the other guy became captain so quickly. Bendel.
I want to ask you a question though about, and again, I can't remember the green character's name now. All of a sudden, Vendy. I think it's Vendy.
Vendy, yes, yeah.
So, in watching this over the seasons and stuff like that, I was trying to figure out whether they were trying to start some romantic-ish kind of things between Boimler and Beckett, but then that kind of it's friends.
Yeah.
Then it would look like it was Vendy and
Rutherford.
Rutherford, right?
Yeah, right. I thought so as well.
And that seemed to be going right down the road of something romantic. Then I don't know, that seemed to cool off some, and then all of a sudden, Boimler, I don't know if you noticed this, but when she was talking to Boimler, she's in a towel and just came out of the shower.
Yeah, I noticed that. Of course I noticed that, mate. I'm a red-blooded male.
Hold on. And then she goes and puts her hand on his foot. I don't know if you noticed this now. And he puts her hand on his foot. And what does he do? He pulls the foot back real quick.
Because he's a pussy, man. He just,
right.
God.
So I'm
remember the first episode with the woman. He doesn't, attention is not his thing. He doesn't like it. He's uncomfortable with it.
So now the weird thing is like, what does Vendy want here? I'm trying, or where's the romance? I don't know.
Gray, she wants loving from someone, anyone at this stage. Rutherford's, they're in the pal zone. Boimler's a little pussy and just really needs to sleep with someone on the crew, man. Come on, it's taking forever, man. This guy's so much attention. But no, I saw her on the tell, and I actually thought for one moment she was going to like turn round so you only see her back and then take off the towel and probably start getting changed.
I was wondering about that. I was sitting there going, are they got to push this?
It's not a child's program. This is an adult's animated show. So I think it's, I don't know what it is in the States, whatever the equivalent is, Gray, but here it would be a 15 certificate, 15 years of age and above, or like 12A and above. So it's not designed for kiddies for sure.
Over here it's like 13, like 14 plus or something.
That makes sense, yeah. That makes sense, yeah, because it is in Prodigy's the one for the kiddies, but Gray and I both prefer that one to Lower Decks. But I still like Lower Decks for it is.
I think Prodigy is a straight up serious take animated show, which I like, because there hasn't really been. I mean, TOS did the animated series way back. The thing with that one though, way back when it came out, is that the stories were top notch. All the stories were top notch. They did in Star Trek the animated series, but the animation was Filmation, and it was like
it was not good. It was not good. No.
Yeah.
Those episodes actually, the original series stuff, Gray. It was the same writing quality as the original episodes. It was like an original episode, but just in animated form.
Right.
And I haven't seen those episodes. I've only seen snippets. I don't really have a big interest in watching them. I'll just focus on the original series episodes for now. But yes, yes, we digress. We do that a lot, as you'll probably discover here, people.
It's called the Trek way. What do you expect?
It's the Trek way. It's the Trek way or the highway. So, what do you expect? Anyhow, so after the Delaney in Love, and we're back on the Cerritos, and there's the heart-to-heart between Vendy and Boimler. He's going to become more of a yes man. The next thing or question that someone proposes to him, he's going to say yes. Little does he know there's a big, massive dude called Crunch. He just looks like a big ass monster, like proper something out of not Star Trek anyway. And he is, best way of describing this, Gray, he's hangry. He's used to hunting. He can't hunt his species because he's on the Cerritos, and you can't just go hunting Starfleet officers, as tempted as it may be. So he's going about asking permission for someone to hunt. Vendy says you should go down to... we've seen this before. You should go down to... where am I thinking here? You should go downstairs. You should get an injection. You should calm down because you're going a bit nuts. But he asked Boimler, do you want to go? Could you be my prey? And he went, yes. Realising what he just actually maybe said, and went, uh-oh. So he's now officially prey. He's got 1 hour to prepare. And this, Bendy's like, you've got 1 hour, run. And then, I'm sorry, like, Jack Quaid, I would love to be in that recording booth with him, or a fly in the wall, because you're just sitting there with a mic in front of your face and you just have to scream like, you know, and I'm not going to scream down the mic, I don't want to blow people's ears, but I just laugh every time I hear him scream, Gray, because it's the best.
You see him run off then, of course. And
run off
where he's going to hide. That was my favorite, next to the game. The game was the favorite for me of that episode.
The whole crack thing, yeah.
That was my next favorite. Cranch was great. I'm sitting there going like, no, they're not doing this. And they go like, oh yeah, they are. And
yes, they are.
It was great. And like I think you had mentioned to me off camera about it being a Predator type guy, and clearly he was acting like a Predator-ish kind of creature.
Well,
but it was cute. It was really really good. I liked the way they handled it.
Did you not recall when he's actually looking for prey initially? It was just before Boimler agrees. He's looking at people with his kind of Predator type vision, and I got Predator the movie vibes big time. I like where they're going with this one there. So you're right, actually.
The reticle.
Yeah. And there's a lot of red because it's the colour of being scared, probably in his case. We're back. We go back next to the space platform. And because Ransom's not an engineer and he was just doing this to piss Beckett off, I've noted down here, great. He's looking at the Star Trek Futures equivalent of YouTube on how to, and a fix it, how to do it guide, a fix it guide, if you like. And I had a chuckle at that. I was like, I always wondered what YouTube would look like in the 24th century, and now we know it still exists. We're still in the job, Gray. And I did have a chuckle at that. But as he's checking this, we're getting a call in from Billips and Rutherford. It's kicking off on the planet. I try to keep a straight face saying this because Billups tried to go into one of Delaney's sacred places, maybe a temple, without showing their belly buttons off, their navels, to be posh. And who knew that all the women going about with just like boob tubes and like short sleeve tops on and showing their belly buttons off, that we thought that was normal. Partly that is their custom, their way of doing things. The Billups goes in there without showing it, and it's split World War III down there. It's starting to kick off. What does the commander do? He's like, nah, you'll be fine, and quote the Prime Directive and all this stuff, and it's just, and we apologise. And sometimes you think he's not the best commander going. And then afterwards, we're more crunch game chasing. We start the hunt officially because Boimler comes round to his place, basically asking, almost for forgiveness, that he's wanting to kind of escape from this plan, but it's too late. He's locked in. Cranch tells him there's 3 types of prey. And Boimler is just like, right, okay, I'm screwed. When does the hunt start? Cranch says now. Cue more epic screaming from Jack Quaid and running away. This whole time, there's like predator type devices being thrown after him, like the boomerang and stuff that stops when it gets to a corner and then goes back and chases the person in question. More epic screaming. And I noted down here, Gray, you probably haven't missed this, but you'll recall the point here. He's trying to hide, so he runs into Cetacean Ops, where the dolphins are. And I've been waiting years for Cetacean Ops was officially announced in Star Trek a long time ago as being a thing in some starships, right? But you never saw it. It was supposed to be maybe even on Enterprise D, but you never saw it. Now you saw it here, and everyone's flipping their shit. Like, yes, it's finally here. I don't remember the dolphins' names, but those two. But Boimler jumps in, and you just see the dolphins saying, "Oh, dude, that is just wrong. Jumping into the tank with your shoes on." No, who does that? No one does that. But he escapes temporarily, doesn't he? He goes through a side hatch, gets out. There is no initial sign of Cranch. I love this character, Cranch. I think you did as well, Gray, didn't you?
Yeah. I'd like to see him bring him back. That's how much I liked him.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely, because there was one little point. There was one little point where he actually stops in the hunt to talk to the captain and thank her for the samosas. And this whole time you think he's going to kill Boimler. He's switching like this from left to right. So yeah, big fan of Cranch. We hope to see him back again.
I got to point one scene with Cranch. I don't know if you noticed, but when Boimler first went to his, I don't know if it was his quarters or what it was, to talk to him, he was doing his meditation or whatever it was over some candles or something that looked like candles.
Oh, they snorted something.
Yeah, and all of a sudden the candles go out.
He went high,
and there's smoke, and he goes, and he breathes it in, and then his pupils go like real small.
Yeah, no, that's the bit I mentioned before.
I don't know if anybody even caught on to that one, and it just kind of like boing, and I'm like, oh boy.
No, that was a bit I mentioned before where he was at his quarters talking to him. The hunt began there and then, but I forgot a bit about the section where he snorted in the Star Trek drugs and got a little bit high and up for it, as if he wasn't high and up for it already. But hey ho, yes, I do remember that. That's a good shout, Gray. We're back down on the planet Delania. I'm calling it Planet Delania. I don't even care now, Gray. And I'm just reading this bullet point, man. Delanians are pissed because Billups has an outie, as in a belly button that sticks out the way and doesn't go in. And to be fair, anyone with an outie, maybe there is cause for sacrifice, to be fair. But that's that's another comment. So he's to be sacrificed for having an outie to Margot, the sentient volcano. You just couldn't make this up if you tried.
I know. I'm sitting there going like, volcano. What? You see it talking every time it talks, it's bubbles, right?
It gets more nuts than this. There's other characters in the Planet Delaney as well. We'll get to in a moment. In fact, no, it's actually my next point. It seems their leader is a telepathic baby called Mendrick that has a co-leader AI called 355, and I've just put low afterwards. I mean, you couldn't make this up. 3 absolutely bonkers characters running the planet, a sentient volcano, a baby who's telepathic, and I've just got vibes of Mini-Me from Austin Powers with this little baby talking telepathically. And the AI 355.
Did you know there's a theme going on here on some of the episodes with the AI computer?
Not again.
There was a past episode where they had I don't remember the episode name, but it was the supercomputer that was constantly trying to get plugged into the ship to take over.
Oh, and it was voiced for Jeffrey Combs, if you remember rightly.
Yeah, and it was really funny. But the funnier part, the best part of that whole thing, was when they brought the computer to be put away into its prison cell or whatever you want to call it, and they go and stick him in this little cubicle, and then as the camera pulls back, there's about 50 of these AI computers, all like him, that are all talking about, like how they're going to take over the universe or whatever, or if they ever get out. And it's like, that was hilarious. And then again, you see it here. So I'm kind of like, there's somebody's definitely got a thing.
But they've done that in Discovery in season 2, so I really hope they don't do that again. But I do see that link, actually, man. Yeah, that's a very good shout. And I'm a big fan of Jeffrey Combs, who's played so many. Weyoun, Shran, to name a couple of characters. Love the guy. He's right up there with the Mortok fellow for me. We go back again with to and fro. We go back again to the space elevator. Beckett sees the trouble that our fearless guys are up to on the planet and decides she's going against orders. She's going to go and save them. So she skydives down to the planet, and I'm getting vibes straight away of the Star Trek reboot movie, Grey, where they skydive down there. So you're seeing lots of little Easter eggs that, as long as they're done correctly and they're not just there for the sake of it, are actually entertaining for me. But she skydives down, gets about halfway. Reading my bullet points ahead of time and having a chuckle, guys. Sorry. She skydives down, but Ransom comes out and goes, "Listen, I think you're right. We should probably go down and save their asses. How about you meet such and such?" She's already committed. She's halfway down. She pulls her chute, goes, "Damn," smashes into the side of the space platform, gets up, and then she's just cursing with the bleep machine on. That's what I know you're not supposed to swear in Star Trek, but this is animated comedy for adults, so they bleep it out. She's still swearing. She runs into the inside of the platform, looks at all the stairs, and it's just F-U-C-K. It's just bleeped out. Trevor's having a chuckle the whole time. She runs up the stairs, hits up an elevator or left, gets dragged up to the top very, very fast, and then she gets to the top. She is like a burst ball grade, basically. She bumps into Ransom finally. But this whole time, the swearing, I'm not used to swearing in Star Trek. I think I accept it in Lower Decks if it's bleeped out and it's done in a comical way like that. What do you think? Are you fussed about swearing in Star Trek?
I because of what it is and because it's that type of a comedy and a farce, then it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, if they it's a necessary part for the doctor, because she does it all the time.
Like a sailor, man.
Exactly, and if she didn't, it would be like, what's wrong? This is her character.
Yeah. This is very true.
And by the way, she wasn't in this whole episode, so I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, she's not been in it much recently, actually. So I hope that's resolved, because I also love the cat as well. It absolutely cracks me up. But yeah, moving on from there, we are back with Boimler, and he picks up he picks up a pad that's got Mortok on it. I don't know why this pad's even here, Gray. A Mortok it's like, it's just convenient. What?
They weren't playing the game in that room, so how did the pad get in there?
It's futuristic iPads now, Gray, that any iPad, if it recognises the user's handprint, it plays the last thing. I don't know. I'm making this up. But yeah.
So am I. I'm going to throw that to... It's a cartoon thing.
It's a cartoon thing, yeah. We'll let them off of it. But yeah, he picks it up. Mortok's on there, giving some speech or line from the game to what Boimler's saying. Boimler's like, I can't do this kind of thing. And Mortok's basically saying, pull the finger out, man up, face your fears, go after him. And he then starts doing the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger thing from the end of Predator the movie, where he starts fighting back and putting the war paint on, the bandana, getting the
weapons ready, and
the pulse rifle out, the phase rifle out. And he goes out and gives a speech to Cranch, right? I'm fed up of being hunted and I'm going to take you down, and Boimler. And before he even finishes his sentence, Cranch just got one of his spears and he goes, doink, throws it right into his shoulder. The guy's in a lot of pain. But the next point you absolutely love, Gray. You made a note on this. What happens when he's down on the deck with a spear in his shoulder? What happens from this point?
Yeah, when he comes down and throws it at him, and I was surprised at that scene, but it was hilarious. But I like when he goes over there and he goes, "Oh, you're gonna kill me now? Please don't kill me." And he says, "We don't kill you. We practice responsible catch and release." And I'm like, "It's a fishing show."
It's a fishing show, yeah.
And it's like catch and release, and he's like, catch and release, and I was just like cracking up. And then he pulls out the selfie. It looked like a futuristic iPhone. He goes like, takes a picture like of him over the. And then to rub it in though, when Boimler just passes out from blood loss or whatever, he just goes, well, maybe one more picture for the boys back home. Click. Just another one. I was like, whoa. Yeah, that was hilarious. It was great. Yeah.
If they do comedy, they have to do it the right way. That's all asking. They did it the right way this time for sure. But so that's kind of more or less over now. Boimler passes out as he's getting tips from Cranch on how to be better prey, but he gave him high marks, I think, safe to say, Gray. Done a really good job. We then see Beckett finally meet up with Ransom after going up 10 million one stairs. And then Ransom going, I think you were right. I think we should go down and save them. The quickest way to go down is skydive. And I just burst out laughing. Now, to give you guys context, I'm watching this yesterday on the coach back from... I was somewhere else yesterday coming back into Edinburgh. And I'm watching this and it's quiet and I'm burst out laughing on several occasions. And there's people around me just looking at me really weird. I'm like, it's Lower Decks, guys. Come on. Like, haven't you seen it? But I had a chuckle at this because they literally Beckett just skydived minutes before then. And now they're going to skydive again. But they're both jumping down, skydiving style. Ransom's loving it. Beckett, for like a moment here, is sleeping. You hear her thrown away because she's so exhausted. And then she wakes up as soon as the parachute releases. And she's good to go. And they, as we're coming to a close, we get down to the planet, and Ransom is like, no, they're about to be sacrificed. But Ransom saves the day again by ripping off his shirt. Now, Gray, I don't know about you, but I think we'd all kill for at least one of his six-pack. The guy's always ripped. And at this time, it's glistening. I mean, it's literally glistening his chest. I mean, I was in admiration and a bit sick at the same time.
The thing that was funny is the aliens called it, of course, they don't have the word six-pack, but they called it something tubes, or you have really great blah, blah, blah tubes or something.
I know. I noted down here, no, literally, it's 355, the co-leader, the robot thing, that says, wow, your lava tubes are perfect.
Lava tubes. Okay. That's funny.
But you can imagine a universal translator doing things like that, because it might not know what that is, so it gives something equivalent to it. Lava tubes. I guess they kind of look like that. So yeah, he rips open the shirt and he's like, parlay and save the day, and you guys value a health society, do you not? And they're like, yeah, we kind of do, actually, above all else. And then he goes up and starts being diplomatic. And I just had a chuckle at this because, the baby's telepathically talking. robots talking away as well, and then you've got the volcano erupting, doing its sentient thing, and then we towards the end of the episode, at the close here, we have Beckett and Ransom having a heart-to-heart and kind of being nice to each other, Gray. I think, is it safe to say that things are thawing slightly between these two, but they're still... Are they frenemies now, maybe? We've got that far? Maybe not that far?
I don't know if they've got... I don't think they're that far yet, but yeah, something's cracked a little, the ice.
They've got a mutual respect maybe a little bit for each other, but they're not fans of each other. Yeah, exactly. And then the very end... I like the way they end Lower Decks episodes. Last week's was funny. This week's is entertaining as well. We now have Bold Boimler. That's now what he's known as. Great. I hope it sticks. I don't think it will because it's Boimler. But he basically... what have I got down here? Yeah, they're playing the board game at the end. The very, very end. Yeah, they're playing this Mortok game again. And it's Mortok being hilarious as well. Now you've written down here a little comment about a line that you really liked, Gray, did you not?
Yeah, I thought that he was Bold Boimler. I can pronounce it. Boimler is like getting ready to roll the dice. He says, "I'm Bold Boimler now," and he throws the dice. And of course, then Mortok comes on and says, "He says you just are you?" Oh no, he was demanding blood wine from the bartender.
Yeah.
Boimler. So then Mortok says, you have just insulted the bartender or something. He rips your arm off and then kills you with your own arm. And he says, but and on top of that, it was not an honorable death since typically you died by your own hand.
Yes,
I was cracking up. That was such a great line. The way it was delivered by Mortok was perfect.
Yeah,
it just was so funny.
You're not really bold anymore. So maybe the Bold Boimler lasted a whole 10 seconds or so before that line came about. And then Mortok signs off by literally saying at the end, to continue, please download the DLC Dinner with Lady Lindor. To which Rutherford just goes, oh man, come on. More DLCs there is in the future in Star Trek than maybe the same as the future is now, Gray. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. An improvement on last week. Not the perfect episode, but I enjoyed this one. There was a lot of chuckles and laughs in the right places. There wasn't too many forced Easter eggs. What were your thoughts briefly, Gray?
The way I look at the series as a whole, I give it maybe a 7 out of 10. But I give the comedic moments, these little pieces that I call it, like a 9. Yeah. Or even a 10, depending on what it is. Because when they just interject these things, especially when the cat does her thing and Rax will do his thing and a couple other things, some of those moments are great. And for this episode, the moment was the game for me.
Yeah,
I mean, it just was so good. And even at the very, very end, when they took the shot of the Cerritos outside in space, and they were kind of ending the episode, you still hear Mortok giving like the disclaimer lines of the game.
I forgot about that.
He was just doing like these, and remember, Ferengi tax already applicable, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God. So if you go back on the episode and listen to that, it's pretty funny how he sits there and does these disclaimer lines, just like they would, in a real game or a real, and it was just like, all the way to the end.
Yeah,
and then
I'd almost forgotten that line. I'd almost forgotten that line, Gray. That's a nice little tidbit to actually end it. I guess the overall thing about Lower Decks for me, Gray, is... So what you got to remember is this... I don't think it's fair to compare it too much to other shows because for me, it is animated, yes, but it's aimed to be an adult animated comedy, I guess, with Star Trek vibes in it. And for me, the respect canon, that's something this show does do, unlike Discovery at the start. It respects canon, it pays homage to it, it does the Easter eggs and stuff, very much in the Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine era, and I love that, but it does its own thing at the same time with comedy moments all throughout, so that's why I'm a fan of that show. If you just kind of keep it on its own little bubble there, in a way, you enjoy it a lot more, and that's why I chuckle at it, because it just makes me laugh. But yeah, I am a fan of that episode overall. It's onwards and upwards as far as I'm concerned. I hope they keep going from strength to strength. I think there's 9 episodes in this season, so We got 7 more. We'll see how we go. Apologies.
Set of 10.
I think I remember reading this, or was it 9 more? Maybe it was 10. Maybe let's say 9 or 10. Apologies for the late release of episode 1. We had some technical difficulties. We were both really busy. It didn't work out. That's why I done a quick video of just myself going over episode 1, and it's less because there's only just me. If I've got Gray to chew the fat with, it goes on longer, and that's our thing. There won't be just quick 10-minute videos because we break down the episode. We go in different tangents, don't we?
We can't talk 10 minutes on anything.
No, that's true. No. That 10 minutes can be just Gray's opinion on something or mine, and then you're waiting to jump in for a pause, So, but no, we digress. That's our thing. We go more in depth. So hopefully you guys like that. But as always, you can always put comments down below if there's things you want to see or hear, improvements. We don't pretend to be experts at this. We always welcome advice from other people. Because you guys are listening to it or watching it, so if we can entertain you more, then great. Okay, great. We will wrap it up there. Thank you for coming along, and do your usual, Mr. Gray, and say goodbye to the people.
Live long and prosper.
See you later, guys. Take it easy. Bye bye.